We might have one other option item that wasn't on the docket. Has anybody heard of the Eras Tour? There might be a fun gig where there are 4 tickets to the New Orleans, Miami, or Indianapolis dates when the Eras Tour comes back to the United States. Does that fire anybody up right now?
20,000, just go for it. 20,000 big right here. We're at 25,000 over here. We're at $30,000. Are we good for $30,000? Just do it. There it is. I've got a feeling this gentleman's going to win. And a cheapskate, okay? That's already So, by the way, there are people who would actually.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce attended the Mahomes Foundation's ongoing 4th annual Golf Classic event in Las Vegas. After Travis Kelce announced that Taylor Swift donated Eras Tour tickets to a charity auction, many people supported and approved of Swift's generosity. Taylor Swift is making headlines as she won many hearts after donating her Eras Tour tickets to the Patrick Mahomes 15 and Mahomes Foundation. Taylor Swift was also very excited and waved her handkerchief in approval of her boyfriend Travis Kelce's wonderful speech. That action was like a nod to Travis. They were immersed in sweet gestures throughout the night of the event in Las Vegas. Taylor Swift has become the first artist to have a dozen #1 albums in the UK in the 21st century. It comes after the singer-songwriter, 34, released her latest album, The Tortured Poets Department, last week. She surprised fans by also releasing it as a secret double album, subtitled The Anthology, which contains 15 additional songs. The album has now topped the charts. According to the official charts company, it means that Taylor has become the first music artist to have 12 #1 albums in the 21st century in the UK charts. She previously topped the official albums chart with Red, 1989, Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Fearless, Taylor's Version, Red, Taylor's Version, Midnights, Speak Now, Taylor's Version, and 1989, Taylor's Version. The music streaming platform announced about the album last week, Spotify's most streamed album in a single day, and Taylor became the most streamed artist in a single day in Spotify history. It later added, history made. On April 19, 2024, Taylor's The Tortured Poets Department was the first album in Spotify history to have over 300 million streams in a single day. The album is said to have shifted 270,000 UK chart units, according to official charts company. It exceeds her previous record of 204,000 in 7 days, which she achieved when her album Midnights was released in 2022. The Tortured Poets Department is also said to have enjoyed the biggest opening week for an album since Ed Sheeran released his album Divide in 2017. The latter reportedly had more than 670,000 sales and streams in its opening week. Although now named as the first artist to have 12 albums top the chart in the UK in the current century, Taylor isn't the only act to have topped the album charts a dozen times. Madonna and Bruce Springsteen have also done so. The official charts company states about Taylor and Madonna, they are level as the female artist with the most #1 albums in the UK. Madonna's dozen chart-topping albums were released between 1984 and 2012, which means that her achievement spans the 20th century and the 21st century. Similarly, Bruce's chart-topping albums were released between 1984 and 2020. Only 4 acts in chart history are said to have more UK chart-topping albums than Taylor, Madonna and Bruce. The Beatles have 16, whilst the Rolling Stones and Robbie Williams are credited with 14. Elvis Presley instead has 13. It has taken Taylor less than 12 years to secure her dozen chart-topping albums. The same achievement took Madonna and Bruce more than 2 decades. whilst it took the Beatles 14 years. The band's first #1 album in the UK was with Please Please Me in 1963, and their 12th was The Beatles at Hollywood Bowl in 1977. When Taylor Swift dropped her highly anticipated 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department, last Friday, the professional critic class was quick to express disappointment and pan the Midnight sequel as a miss. The New York Times review declared Swift could use an editor, effectively arguing the sprawling 31-track double album could have been curtailed. The New Yorker contended the album suffers from being too long and too familiar, adding that it suggests after a decade, her partnership with producer Jack Antonoff has perhaps run its course. Rolling Stone also knocked Swift's work with Antonoff. The album finds their collaborative well completely drained, it said. At a certain point, it begins to feel as though Swift and Antonoff are simply going through the motions while running in place. On and on it went. While some reviews did laud Swift's latest offering, the album failed to dazzle a healthy branch of critics. Had Swift's run as a brilliant pop star finally run its course? Was it downhill from here? That seemed like a possibility, after reading the withering chorus of criticism. It was with those reviews in mind that I hit play last Friday afternoon and visited the Tortured Poets Department for myself. And, after I rushed through the 120-some minutes of personal storytelling and synth-pop, I found myself in agreement with the critics. Initially, Tortured Poets failed to resonate with me. It did, indeed, feel a little tired. As a lifelong fan of Swift's music, I wasn't impressed. 1 week later, my view of the album has entirely reversed. After spending more time with the 2-hour sonic feast, more methodically touring through its subtleties and nuances, I am ready to declare that it is one of Swift's best works yet. Anecdotally, it seems others are also identifying with this experience, initially expressing tepid feelings toward the album, and then realizing after a few listens it has really grown on them. That is because it takes more than a day to get one's arms around a 31-track album like Tortured Poets. Swift's album demands time to be fully appreciated. It cannot be devoured at the speed of TikTok. That is a lot to ask from a public that has grown accustomed to absorbing information in quick bursts. Social media platforms have rewired minds, shortening attention spans and pushing people into the habit of consuming entertainment designed to enthrall for only a few seconds. If something doesn't immediately click with an audience, it is swiped off screen. Swift's new work demands more time to fully absorb. It cannot be assessed in an instant. It's not fast food. It's a multi-course meal that stipulates the person sit, with undivided attention, and focus on what is before them. Absorb the smells and the different ingredients designed to stimulate the palate. And then, take time to digest and really ruminate on the experience. It is unfeasible to appreciate the stories of heartbreak, romance, frustration and conquest that Swift cleverly narrates through 2 hours of unrelenting poetry. But that is where Swift shines. It is in the intricate, layered storytelling. And it is implausible to fully grasp the serpentine journey she leads listeners on with a quick cursory listen. Unfortunately, that clashes with the modus operandi of the moment. The information environment demands, and rewards, instant takes. Opinions must immediately be generated, posted on social media, and discussed in group chains. There is no waiting. Stopping to smell the flowers means that you are left behind. That leaves little to no room for actually sitting down with the music, sharing the necessary time with it, and letting it marinate. But that is what is required to appreciate Tortured Poets. Those who swiftly write the album off in search of instant satisfaction will not. Those who give it the chance will likely come to love it, as have I.